to day 5 of our study of the books of Deuteronomy and Joshua. We're now studying the last chapters of the book of Joshua. And here, after allotting the land of Canaan to the different tribes of Israel, something happened. There was an incident that actually caused a commotion. There are actually 2.5 tribes of Israel who did not wait until they reached the promised land. Before they reached the promised land, they saw some land that is good for them, and they asked Moses beforehand, maybe we can have that land. Moses allowed them with the condition that they will still go to Canaan and fight with their fellow Israelites, and once all the fighting is done, that's the only time that they can go back to the land that they want. And that's what they did. So when all this fighting in the land of Canaan, when they have subdued the land has been distributed, they asked to return, and they did. They returned to their families. So what happened is that when they were there, they built an altar. And remember, God commanded them not to do that. So the remaining tribes of Israel, the 9.5 tribes that are actually in Canaan, they were outraged by this thing that was done by the 2.5 tribes by building an altar. They thought that their fellow Israelites beyond the Jordan, outside Canaan, that they're actually falling into idolatry. So they called their attention. So they sent a delegation to communicate, and they came to the people of Reuben, the people of Gad, and the half tribe of Manasseh, and they said, "Thus says the whole congregation of the Lord, what is this breach of faith that you have committed against the God of Israel in turning away this day from following the Lord by building yourselves an altar this day in rebellion against the Lord?" And then the 2.5 tribes, they said, you know what? That's not our intention when we built an altar. It's not actually in rebellion. If it was in rebellion or in breach of faith against the Lord, then do not spare us. If we're guilty, then okay, kill us, attack us. But you're saying, no, we did not do this out of rebellion. What we want is just to have a replica of the altar that you're building in Israel so that we do not have to go there to worship because it's troublesome, it's too far. Here, in our place, we want to worship God. So, we're building an altar as a memorial that it's actually the Lord. It's Yahweh who brought us out of Egypt, who made us conquer that land. He is our God. So, that's what they did. Why is it important for us to take a look at that incident that happened between the tribes of Israel, the 2.5 and the remaining Israelite tribes? It's important because our principle for today is that our real inheritance from God is not land or properties or material blessings, but our access to Him. See, at the time when the Israelites already received their portion of the land of Canaan, they already received this land will become Israel. And then the 2.5 tribes, they already received their inheritance. In fact, they have returned to their wives and children. Now they have the land, they should be contented, right? But in their hearts, they know they need to worship God. Because the real inheritance is not that land. So what if they have that land? They can have any other land. The real treasure, the real inheritance is the access to God that you can have. That access to God is only possible through a relationship. After this issue was settled, then Joshua gave reminders for the Israelites. And chapter 24, this is the time when the covenant with God, the relationship with God was renewed. And during this time, it's Joshua's time to meet his Maker. Like Moses, he said to the Israelites, "Now therefore, fear the Lord and serve Him in sincerity and in faithfulness. Put away the gods that your fathers served beyond the river and in Egypt, and serve the Lord. And if it is evil in your eyes to serve the Lord, choose this day whom you will serve, whether the gods your fathers served in your region beyond the river, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land you dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord." He's saying, okay, now you have your own land. You have your own portion. You have your inheritance. Finally, after 40 years, now you have it. Now it's up to you what you will do with that. Will you live your life the way you want to be? The way you want to do it? The way you want to enjoy it? Or will you live your life serving the Lord, giving your life to Him? I can't force you. Now you have your own land, you have your own district. I can't force you. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord.